Real quick before you watch this video, if you're not getting notified when I upload videos, it's probably because you haven't clicked the bell symbol next to the subscribe button down there. Also, if you haven't received an email from me with discount codes and secret giveaways, it's also probably because you haven't clicked this link and signed up for my email list. You might want to do that now. Enjoy the video. I call this Daddy Long Legs, but its official name is the PWS MK116. And for some reason I call it Daddy Long Legs for a reason that I don't really quite know why, but that's what I call her. I've had this rifle for a good minute actually, and I'll be honest, this is not the first time that I've shot it. However, I have not shot it extensively. If you follow me on Instagram, you know and probably have seen this rifle a couple of times on some of my posts. That being said, I've never really actually shot it extensively, and so this is gonna be the first mag of me shooting it extensively, so to speak. PWS is famous for their long stroke piston system. Probably the closest thing to an AR-15, AK-47 that's pretty much out there. There are other long stroke piston systems, but PWS is really more or less known for them. One of the things that PWS is also known for is making really lightweight piston driven systems. I have been a quiet PWS fan for some time now. I love their rifles. I have an MK116 I've never done a video on that I absolutely love. It's my workhorse. It's a 14.5 pin and weld, their MoD 1. This is their MoD 2. And so the difference between the MoD 1 and the MoD 2 is, for me, those differences are more aesthetic driven. And from a functional standpoint, you know, you have now this what they call the PIC mod, which is basically the ability to have a Picatinny rail up front while still having an M-LOK system, a key mod actually, throughout the rest of the rail. So as far as how I have this rifle set up, I'm entertaining this as being my do-everything rifle. What I mean by do-everything is, if I was gonna have one rifle that I could just pick up and grab and I could do just about anything with it, or as close to doing anything with it, this is in the running for being one of those rifles. Generally speaking, I'd need to be able to, one, be short enough that I could do close quarter stuff if I need to, but then also have a long enough barrel that if I need to reach out and touch something, I can go ahead and do that. While at the same time being light enough that if I have to wolf it, what the last time I've ever had to wolf it, I don't even know what I'm saying. But the last time I ever had to do that was like never. But you know, it's kind of fun to kind of think about these scenarios you may find yourself in. And because quite frankly, they're possible. That being said, this rifle, considering its barrel length and considering it's a piston, is incredibly light. And that's the one thing that I like about it and the reason why I was really big on making this possibly my do-everything rifle. The trigger on this particular rifle is a Geissele trigger. It does not come with the Geissele trigger. It actually comes with the Zev trigger. There was nothing wrong with the Zev trigger except for the fact that it was a single stage. I don't like single stage triggers. So I took the Zev trigger out and I put in the Geissele trigger. I do think the Zev trigger looked better. It was kind of like a brownish color, and then, you know, it kind of had some skeletonizing and stuff like that. But for the most part, it was a single stage trigger. I don't like single stage triggers. But another thing that they're really known for too is the buffer tubes. I love the buffer tubes, especially considering some of the small detailing that they put into them. Let's see here. I'm running optics-wise, I'm running a Trijicon 1:8. Like I said, I want to be able to, one, run CQB if I can, which is throwing this on an actual true 1 power. And if I needed to do something up close, let's see here. So, let's talk about this Recoil Impulse. It's different. And I can see someone liking it because it is not a very linear recoil impulse. It recoils a lot like a lighter version of the AK-47. And a lot of it having to do with the long stroke piston system. Long stroke piston system, that's what she said. And so, for someone who's used to shooting DI guns, direct impingement guns, it could startle you a little bit considering how this gun recoils because it's so different. It's not bad different. I personally, it doesn't bother me. Is it better than a DI gun from what I've shot so far? It's just kind of pick your preference kind of a thing. All right, I'll take that back. So I can say that the DI gun probably does recoil a little bit less. The recoil on this is slightly harsher. Not to the point where I think it will affect your speed and your accuracy, but enough where if you're really in tune with your trigger and really in tune with your recoil impulse, you're gonna notice it. Like I said, it's not a bad thing per se, unless you're just really sensitive about recoil. If you are, then yeah, it's a bad thing. So even at speed, I have to give a lot of it to the Geissele trigger just because I love the triggers. I love Geissele. I really, really, really love Geissele triggers. I'm sorry, but I just do. If I needed to, I could really run this gun at speed. And which again, which goes into the whole my do everything gun. So we have close quarters, ability to run at close quarters, ability to reach out and touch stuff, as I'm gonna show you here in a second. Being lightweight enough that if I have to really kind of hoof it around, why I keep saying wolf, I don't know, but huff it around, so to speak, or just carry the gun for an extended period of time, almost like I'm doing right now. It's not so heavy that it just becomes overly cumbersome. All right, let's see what we do here. So now, on top of that, not only do I need it to be able to do all of those things, I'd also want it to be able to be suppressed. And so, while at the same time, while being suppressed, not becoming overly heavy or completely unbalanced. One thing about piston guns, they can be a little unbalanced. I love my HK MR556 SBR. It's a little unbalanced, but I talked about that in another video. I think it was a video about the Colion Arms Gray rifle where the stock was so light that it created an imbalance in the rifle. And even though it was lighter, it felt heavier because of the weight that was removed from the back. All right. Let's see here. Ooh, boy, that's quiet. I'm now starting to realize why I was missing at first. It's because the targets are at an angle. So at this distance, I think I'm seeing them head on and I'm not, and I'm just missing right off of the side. Oh yeah, baby. Yep, I hope y'all hearing that. That's at about 400-ish yards. So you see what I'm saying? It's essentially, like I said, a do everything rifle for me. Yes, there are other 16-inch guns that I'm pretty sure could do that and other things as well. But the one thing that I got from this that I really loved is the fact that it's so lightweight and it's a piston system, which you get that smidge of reliability. But I guess you could argue, you know, pistons do break as well, so you could run into that type of issue. But as far as just being a dirty gun and still running and still being able to kind of push through, You got to give it to the piston in that sense. There's gonna be a lot of people in the comment section who are like, no, that's actually not true. The DI is just fine. It's just as reliable. Okay, well, if it's just as reliable, then this is gonna be slightly more reliable. And if it is just as reliable, then I guess it's okay for me to just go to a piston, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get a lot of fuck yous in the comment section, or whatever. All right, let's do some more shooting. I swear I shoot long range like I play basketball. I remember back in high school, what I would used to do is I'd come down, take, not even high school, but like undergrad, I'd come over, take 3 or 4 steps past half court, just watch it, and then kind of look at it and walk away. I was doing that before Curry was doing that, true story. So I had this tendency when I'm shooting out to distance to want to kind of look up and see my hit like I can actually see it with my naked eye, which I can't. But the beautiful thing is, come on, if you want to come look at this right here, is at this place, as you can see, the target down there, they have these red indicators. So if I were to say, shoot one of them, the light comes on. And what that also does too is it kind of shows you how fast sound travels and how much slower it travels versus the actual round. So for instance, you're gonna see the red light showing that it hit the target before you actually hear the auditory sound of me hitting the target. Oh man. So there you have it, the PWS MK116 Mod 2. And like I said, of course, you know, I have my obligatory Surefire light, just because I love Surefire. And like I said, 1-8 Trijicon, my potential do everything rifle. I can suppress it, I can go long, I can go short. I don't know why I did that, like that somehow signifies me going short, but whatever. It's been a long day. And it's lightweight, and I have the reliability of a piston system. So for me, and then if I wanted to, I could go ahead and throw some bipods on here, and if I needed to, pretty much have a stable platform wherever I needed to go without adding excessive amounts of weight to it, and being in a position where I don't even want to carry the gun because it's too damn heavy. That being said, this is the PWS MK116 Mod 2. I like it a lot. Oh, forgot to tell you guys, it also has an adjustable gas block, so if you run suppressed and you want to kind of interact with the suppressor in that regard, if you're having issues running, if you need more gas, less gas, so forth, so on, all that great jazz, you can do that with this gun as well. So again, modularity, versatility, all of those things I'm looking for in like my do everything rifle. And right now, this is making a great case for it. Just saying. Why is it? Again, I need ammo. Real quick before you go, I want to talk about the guide I put together titled, If I Could Carry Only One Gun. In this guide, I talk about which gun that would be and the reasons why. So be sure to click the link in this video to download your free copy today. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'm Colion Noir, and I'm out.